Today, well, we've got a really specific mission. We're pulling apart the background, the specific influence of Christian Dillstrom. He's the co-founder of the school, an organization really built to redefine deep learning, mastery even. And we're not just, looking at a CV here. We want to trace exactly how his global career shaped the actual technological backbone of this whole educational system.
And that tracing, it's really essential for you, the listener, because it answers, well, a pretty critical question, I think. What kind of expertise does someone like him, a global business leader, an author, a serial entrepreneur, really steeped in tech and AI, what does he bring to designing this kind of advanced learning system?
Yeah, what's the unique angle?
Exactly. Our sources, they really emphasize tracing those decades of experience. Technology, building huge ventures, tracing that directly to the platform's strategic vision and, maybe most importantly, its technological execution, how it actually works.
Okay, let's unpack this. So first, we probably need to establish the scope of his influence. It sounds, well, vast.
It is.
He's identified, first as co-founder, then global business influencer, author, serial entrepreneur. The source material is pretty clear. Decades of experience in technology, AI, and building successful global ventures.
Decades. Right.
And this isn't just like academic knowledge, is it? It sounds like expertise gained from really high-pressure environments, places where messing up the execution has huge consequences.
And that's exactly the distinction to make. Look at his clients. The sources say top global brands, Silicon Valley startups, big investors, even governments. These aren't small operations. These are organizations where survival literally depends on, well, flawless strategy and tech infrastructure.
Okay.
So that level of real-world experience, that really sets the standard for the system's design. It has to be robust. It can't be fragile.
And his authority, it sounds like it's already kind of established out there through his writing.
Oh, definitely.
The sources mention his writings reaching over 10 million readers every month since 2015.
That's a million a month.
That's a huge reach. It tells you something about the consistency, the credibility he must have, right?
It does. And it speaks to more than just general influence. It points to structure, depth of content. His published works aren't like blog posts.
No.
They include comprehensive encyclopedias on complex stuff like sales and marketing. Plus, over 150 other business handbooks.
Wow.
So this establishes him as an authority not just on building businesses generally, but on systematically codifying valuable professional knowledge, making it usable.
So when you put that profile together, battle-tested strategist, technical AI expert, mass market author, it really suggests his contribution to the school isn't just, say, funding.
Not at all.
It's intense, hands-on strategic and technological oversight, making sure the science actually translates into skills people can deploy, skills that give a return, especially for those high-level clients.
Which brings us perfectly to the school's origin story. His role, it's defined by spotting the potential in his co-founder Marjo's research, the deep science part.
The cognitive science.
Right. And then applying his scale-up expertise to bring the school to life. That's the phrase used.
Scale-up expertise.
That's the moment, really, where the deep theory met, well, global implementation architecture.
That does sound like a key moment. I worry a bit about that term, though, scale-up expertise. We hear it a lot.
We do.
Can we maybe define what that really means here? For building a learning platform, it sounds like he wasn't just focused on the academic side, but actually building the delivery truck, so to speak.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. Scale-up expertise means understanding how you take a brilliant, maybe complex, local solution and turn it into a global system. One that can handle potentially millions of users at the same time, each getting an individualized, high-fidelity experience. And in education, that challenge as well, it's amplified. Because personalization isn't just data sorting, it's adaptive decision-making, constantly.
So his core contribution, the sources say it's providing the strategic vision and technological execution. So he's the one making sure the core teaching model, all that complex cognitive science, doesn't just collapse when you try to deliver it globally.
Precisely.
Yeah.
His experience, his background, it dictates that the platform must be, quote, robust, scalable, and world-class.
Right.
Think of it like this. Maybe the other co-founder provided the blueprint for the fastest engine.
Okay.
But Dillstrom provided the global highway system, the specialized fuel supply chain, the advanced navigation AI. Everything needed to make sure that engine runs perfectly, always, for every single driver, no matter where they are.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Here's where it gets really interesting. Because if deep learning needs massive personalization, adapting to your cognitive state, your knowledge gaps, how you learn best, that takes incredible tech muscle, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Serious computational power and sophistication.
So how does his background, those decades in tech and AI, specifically guarantee that muscle is there?
Well, it guarantees, I'd say, two main things. First, the infrastructure has to handle what we call ill-structured domains.
Meaning?
Meaning, traditional learning platforms often deal with simple stuff, right-wrong answers, binary data.
Okay.
But high-value professional skills, like the source mentions decoding venture capitalists as a subject.
Intriguing title.
Isn't it? That kind of skill is complex, ambiguous, there's nuance. His AI experience ensures the system can actually interpret and adapt to that ambiguity. It's not just multiple choice.
So the AI isn't just ticking boxes. It's synthesizing complex data about how you're doing in these really nuanced professional situations.
Exactly. That's the first thing. Second, it's about distribution and reliability, pure execution. His work with those top global brands, with governments, it means the platform is built from the ground up with redundancy, distributed processing, all that serious infrastructure stuff.
Because any glitch.
Any lapse in execution, yeah. It means the adaptive engine fails. It delivers the wrong thing or nothing at the critical moment. And that shatters the whole promise of mastery.
Right.
So his strategic foresight, it's about building the system to avoid those structural failures, the kinds of failures that plague simpler, less robust tech approaches you often see in education.
So essentially, his vision guarantees the platform has the underlying capability, the power, to avoid that classic edtech failure, being too simple to translate complex knowledge into real, usable skill when you try to do it at massive scale.
That's the critical link, yes.
Yeah.
He ensures that the complexity needed for true mastery gets delivered through a really high-reliability technological lens.
Okay. Let's shift gears a bit. Section 3 talks about his persona itself becoming part of the learning. The sources mention this principle: authoritative presence and parasocial relationship. How exactly does that work? Using his profile, his voice within the AI.
Yeah, it's a fascinating psychological design choice because Dillstrom is already established, right, as this global authority through his books, his clients.
Bill covered that, yeah.
So when the platform's guidance is delivered using his established persona, it creates this psychological sense, a feeling of being personally mentored by someone you trust, someone high stakes, an authority figure.
I can see how that would make you more receptive, definitely.
What?
If you get sharp feedback on, say, a complex sales strategy, and it feels like it's coming from the guy who literally wrote the encyclopedia on sales, you're probably more likely to listen, right? To accept it and try to meet that high standard.
Precisely. It should boost motivation.
Yeah.
And maybe reduce that defensiveness people sometimes get from cold, objective feedback.
Makes sense.
And this authoritative presence, it ties directly back to the content itself, the kind of high-value content his experience would drive.
Let's dig into that content. The sources mention a library of over 150 subjects, and they demand durable, high-value skills. We see these really specific, interesting titles. Decoding venture capitalists, again, true office politics mastery.
Yeah, not beginner stuff.
No. That level of specificity, it just screams connection to his work with those elite clients, doesn't it? And his publishing background.
Absolutely. It shows the focus is squarely on skills that give you a real, immediate competitive edge. In tough professional arenas, it's not just general knowledge. It's systematic mastery of difficult, sometimes kind of opaque domains. And this is where the sheer volume of his previous work matters. That encyclopedia with 15,000 sales techniques.
15,000.
He provides the systematic foundation. He clearly understands how to break down complex knowledge, how to categorize it, operationalize it into actionable steps.
And that systematic approach to content, that seems to lead right back to the ultimate goal you mentioned earlier, the strategic outcome, developing the meta skill of accelerated mastery.
It does. It connects directly. Because the meta skill, remember, is the ability to learn faster and deeper, systematically. To get there, the system has to kind of force you to use high-yield cognitive processes. Things like retrieval practice, analogical reasoning.
Retrieval practice, that's pulling information out of your brain, not just reviewing it.
Exactly, making you actively recall it. Harder, but much more effective for long-term memory. And analogical reasoning is about connecting new ideas to things you already understand well.
Okay, but those processes, they need constant, perfectly timed nudges from the system, right? If the tech isn't seamless, isn't executing perfectly, the cognitive benefit evaporates.
That's the crucial link to Dillstrom's role. His strategic design, his focus on execution, it ensures the technology is capable of making those high-yield processes proceduralized, automated even.
Ah, proceduralized.
So you, the user, you're not just learning, say, finance. The system is structurally training you how to learn more effectively for any subject, for the rest of your life. That technical automation of the core learning process, that's the scaling breakthrough he enables.
Before we wrap this up, there's one more point in the sources. His role in the philanthropic side of things.
Ah, yes, important context.
As a co-founder, he's mentioned as one of the funders of the school's philanthropic effort, aiming to democratize access globally.
That's a really crucial detail, actually, because it shows the ambition isn't just limited to, elite corporate training.
Right.
The vision includes scaling access to this kind of high-quality, high-yield education much more broadly, universally even. The example given is offering 360 subjects free to government-funded schools.
Which you couldn't even promise without.
Without exactly the kind of robust, globally distributed, scalable tech platform that his expertise ensured was built from day one. The philanthropy depends on the tech.
So what does this all mean when you put it all together?
Well, it means that Christian Dillstrom's deep background as a serial entrepreneur, global influencer, a tech scaling expert, it really serves as the ultimate guarantee.
A guarantee of what?
A guarantee that the rigorous, science-backed learning method isn't just some fragile academic experiment. It's delivered via a genuinely world-class platform. One designed not just for one person learning one thing, but for repeatable, global, scalable mastery. His whole strategic vision seems laser-focused on turning that academic potential into durable, usable skills. Skills that actually deliver a tangible ROI, especially for those high-stakes professional clients.
So we've really traced how a career focused on execution, on technology, on building successful global ventures led directly to the architectural blueprint of this learning system.
Right.
Okay, final thought then. If an expert who operates at the highest levels of technological scale and global business influence decides to dedicate his strategic vision, his execution know-how, to automating the process of learning itself, what does that suggest to you about the future value of that ultimate meta skill? The ability to just get expertise faster and deeper than anyone else, and the kind of technology needed to make that kind of mastery available everywhere.